Kit Kat Wafer Bar is proud to be associated with Oscar's Greatest Moments. Sony V Videotape is proud to sponsor Oscar's Greatest Moments.
Everybody loves you, Oscar. Everybody wants you, Oscar. You're the light of our industry. Big boy, don't you love it? You're the plum performers covet. You're the summit comma, consummate prize. Your glamour glows on, though you haven't any clothes on. Everybody wants to get you, grab you, hug you, hold you tight, and be the one to say, at last I got my way. And look who's going home with Oscar tonight.
Oscar, everybody loves you, Oscar.
Believe it.
Everybody wants you, Oscar.
Everybody wants to get the celebrated statuette.
Good evening.
Those shivering knees, and may I have the envelope, please? And then that famous piece of biz. And the winner is inches and height. But every half inch is dynamite. I wanna get you, grab you, hug you, hold you tight, and be the one to say, I told you, see, and me. And look who's going home with Oscar tonight. Hold you tight and be the one to say, at last I got my way. And look who's holding hands with Oscar, trucking around with Oscar, going home with Oscar. That's the one.
This little guy has become the most visible trophy the world has ever known. He's also the most talked about. And for the people in my business, the most coveted. I'm an actor. My name is Karl Malden, the 27th president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Now, when I was a kid, one of my movie heroes was the Academy's first president. There's this picture, Douglas Fairbanks. I didn't know it at the time, but in 1927, Fairbanks was one of 36 movie makers who formed this organization. People like Louis B. Mayer, Cecil B. DeMille, and Mary Pickford, who was Fairbanks' wife. They rented 3 rooms on Hollywood Boulevard and set up headquarters. The first awards were presented at a private party, May 16, 1929. Now, you won't believe this, but it took about 5 minutes to hand out all the awards. 5 minutes. Word of the party got around Hollywood, and by the next year, the awards got more attention, the party got bigger, Oscar invited his friends from the press, and then radio, and then television, and the party kept getting bigger and bigger, and it hasn't stopped growing yet. Today, 1 billion people in over 90 countries watch Oscar and his friends salute our annual awards. And in case you haven't been one of those billion, here's your chance to catch up. We've assembled some nostalgic Oscar moments from 1970 to 1990. So why don't you just relax, get cozy, and enjoy.
Ride a coach, ride a coach.
Lights, camera, action. Alone at last. At last alone. Your smoldering, passionate eyes are driving me wild. Ah! Speak to me. Speak.
I waste words when all I want to do is squeeze you in my arms.
Cut.
Grabbing my flanks and then they're drooling, blamming their banks like who they fooling. I got a heart for them to break it. 60th year I'll never make it. Put to work as a doorstop, cast aside and neglected. Only back in the spotlight when a guest is expected. 60th year I've had it, brother. 60th year go find another.
And it all comes down to this. Yes, it all comes down to this.
After the scripting, the casting, the shooting, the cutting, the screening, the voting, the rooting.
After the posters, the press, the promotion, the pain and the panic, the love and devotion.
Life captured on film, 100 years of devotion on film. A stunning collection of a reflection of life, captured on film, right from the beginning to the end. Oh yeah.
G'day viewers. This is my first time at the Academy Awards. I usually watch it on television, and for that reason I've been asked to come out here and speak to my peers on behalf of the television audience. G'day peers. This is, of course, the big event of show business, and the atmosphere here is pure electricity. But as a television show, it does tend to go slightly off the boil, particularly as we drift into the third and fourth hour. What can we do about it? Firstly, winners, when you make your speech, it's a good tip to remember the 3 G's. Be gracious, be grateful, get off. Secondly, don't be too humble tonight, because we have up here a second envelope. So don't get up on the stage and say, I don't deserve this award. If you really feel you don't deserve an Academy Award, just give us a wave from your seat. Most importantly tonight, for most categories, nominees will be on camera when they announce the winner. Please, nominees, let's not have the spectacle of all 4 non-winners giving us this one. This is the I'm so glad he won instead of me smile. Think of the television audience, give us a bit of variety. You know, maybe 1 or 2 you could burst into tears. Storming out of the building in a huff would be nice. Well, what's wrong with a bit of good old-fashioned booing? No, I'm nominated tonight, and I realise I'm not exactly the odds-on favourite. But I travelled 13,000 miles to be here for this. I come from the other side of the planet. And if they read out someone else's name instead of mine, it's not going to be pretty. Anyway, listen. Most important, the producer of this program, Sam Goldwyn, said to me, everyone's really tense out there. Go out and see if you can get them to relax. Why? Well, you didn't come here to relax. You want to relax, stay at home and watch it on television. That'll relax you. No. Fellow workers, brothers, workmates, you're here to sweat. This program is live. There's about 1,000 million people watching you. So you remember, one wrong word, one foolish gesture, your whole career could go down in flames. Hold that thought and have a nice night, you hear? Over the years, we've had a few other suggestions, and more than a few other laughs from Oscar's great masters of ceremonies. Watch Robin Williams open the 1985 show.
Good evening. I'm Robin Williams, and this is Frank Johnson and Dan Lyle from the accounting firm of Price Waterhouse, who tabulated the Oscar ballot and guaranteed the secrecy and integrity of the results. So you guys, you know who won, right? You got all the envelopes right in there? What do you say we open those suckers up right now? Come on. Come on, they haven't read the rules yet. We can go away. Come on. We just read them all out right now, and bang, we can go to the party. Oh, come on, not even for a couple of tickets to a Laker game. You get to sit next to Jack. He's out there right now. Okay, you're not going to do it? No? Okay, I admire that in a man, a little integrity. Okay, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I gave it my best shot. But I'm afraid we have to do the show. That's right, and the show always begins with a man who has a voice who sounds exactly like this.
Good evening, Hollywood phonies.
As you well know by now, this is the 51st Annual Academy Awards. 2 hours of sparkling entertainment spread out over a 4-hour show. People who just tuned in at home, this is the Academy Awards. Warning, contents may cause drowsiness. Do not drive or operate heavy machinery.
This year we've instituted a kind of an early warning system. Rather than a host, I'm going to kind of be a ringmaster out here. I want to keep the show rolling. So if we feel you're getting a little long, you'll hear a warning sound like so. 10 seconds after that, there'll be another warning. Excuse me. And in the extreme cases, you will hear that.
I'm very thrilled to stand up here tonight and gaze out on this glorious throng of beautiful people. I see a lot of new faces, especially on the old faces.
Tonight we set aside petty differences, forget old feuds, and start new ones.
This is the night that Hollywood puts aside its petty jealousies and brings out its major jealousies.
Tonight will mark the beginning for a very few lucky people and the end of a lot of friendships.
This is our greatest year ever. Do you know the box office this year worldwide was over $5 billion? Thank you. $5 billion, or roughly half of what Jack Nicholson made on Batman. This is a rich man. He just bought land in Japan.
Our fourth nominated film is Prizzi's Honor. It's the story of a hit man who falls in love. How you doing, Jack? A hit man who falls in love with a hit woman, the result being a hit damn film.
Oh, there's some great pictures. I think Godfather Part 2 has an excellent chance of winning. Neither Mr. Price nor Mr. Waterhouse have been heard from in 4 days.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, nobody goes home empty-handed tonight. The losers all receive the new Oscar home game.
I have a little bit of bad news. The time is getting a little bit short, so we're going to have to speed things up. I understand they've tightened the rules a little bit. I don't know what that means exactly, but I think that they are going to use something, and it's not going to be just buzzers and bells. I guess they don't want people coming out of here and winging things. They don't want people just to ramble on.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know anyone else, but I really feel it's a privilege to be here tonight, and I'm going to try my best to, but... Can't you see I'm working?
I'm the real Apollo Queen. You stole my script. You stole my script.
Don't you see I'm working?
No, I saw it. I watched the movie. You stole my script. All that was me. I'm the Apollo Queen.
You've been putting me on for
no,
years.
show me what you can really do. Show me what you can really do.
You know my real name, don't you?
No, show me.
Kid Salami.
Show me what you can do. Come on, show me. Show me. Nice picture.
Oh, thank you, too.
There we go.
I just got to say one thing. I may not win anything here tonight in the form of an Oscar, but I really feel it's an amazing privilege to be standing next to a 100% certified legend, and it's something I'm going to treasure for the rest of my life. Unbelievable. Thank you very, very much. You know what it means to me.
Ever since Al Jolson proved that talkies could also sing, the whole world has had a love affair with movie music.
Love, soft as an easy chair. Love, fresh as the morning air. One love that is shared by two. I have found with you. Love, look at the two of us, strangers in many ways. We've got a lifetime to share, so much to say, and as we go from day to day, when you get caught between the moon and New York City, I know it's crazy, but it's true. If you get caught between the moon and New York City, best that you can do, best that you can do is fall in love. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. I've had the time of my life, never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's a truth, and I owe it all to you. I've had the time of my life, searched through every open door. I'm gonna live forever
Thank you. Look, just because I happen to be up there with this lovely young lady, I don't want you to think she's my date.
That's true. I'm not his date.
No, it's just that we've made a movie together. It's called Just You and Me, Kid. And you know how the studios like to spread those stories about stars being romantically involved.
Well, it sells tickets.
Kid, if we were romantically involved, I'd sell tickets.
Every aspiring actress in the world wants to win an Academy Award. No wonder. As Katharine Hepburn put it, it's thrilling because by our vote this year, you're the best. Here's a look back at those thrilling moments when Oscar's leading ladies were named. The parade starts with Walter Matthau opening the sealed envelope for 1970.
The nominees for Best Performance by an Actress are Carrie Snodgrass in Diary of a Mad Housewife, Glenda Jackson in Women in Love, Sarah Miles in Ryan's Daughter, Ally McGraw in Love Story, Jane Alexander in The Great White Hope. The winner is Glenda Jackson in Women in Love.
Perhaps it would be nice if a man came along. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to look for him. But if there should happen along a highly attractive individual with sufficient means, well...
The following year, Henry Fonda's daughter Jane was honored for her portrayal in the film Clute.
We could have a nice half-and-half party for 50. Mm-hmm. We could have a good time for 50. Or if you wanted something extra, it would be a little more.
I'm an international woman of mystery.
Judy Garland and Vincent Minnelli's daughter Liza Minnelli strutted home for a cabaret.
Divine decadence. Thank you for giving me this award. You've made me very happy.
Susan Hayward announced Oscar was going to England for a touch of class, and Glenda Jackson.
And the winner is Glenda Jackson.
I am fed up with this arrangement. I am fed up with hanging around on the off chance that you may condescend to drop in between the baseball and the golf.
Vicky.
And if you do not have to take your children to Kew Gardens.
We did take our
If you
children.
want a horse, step outside, press any of those buttons marked French.
3 times the bridesmaid Ellen Burstyn finally caught the bouquet.
Ellen Burstyn in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Sit down there. This is what I want you to do, okay? I'll tell you, I want you to make me a list. I want to see it in writing. Let's have it. Okay. Write it all out, all your problems, all the things that are wrong with your life, everything that can go bad. Come on, start writing. Write! Write it! A whole list, all the bad things.
The winner is Louise Fletcher.
Charles Bronson and his wife Jill Ireland presented the honor to Louise Fletcher for her role as Nurse Ratched.
If Mr. McMurphy doesn't want to take his medication orally, I'm sure we can arrange that he can have it some other way. But I don't think you'd like it, Mr. McMurphy.
Faye Dunaway won for her portrayal of a manic TV executive in Network.
I'm talking about a $6 cost per thousand show. I'm talking about $130,000 minutes. Do you want to figure out the revenues of a strip show that sells for $100,000 a minute? One show like that could pull this whole network right out of the hole. Now, Frank, it's being handed to us on a plate. Let's not blow it.
Diane Keaton shared the glory of her win and her wardrobe with Annie Hall.
I'm very honored to have been nominated with actresses like Jane Fonda and Shirley MacLaine and Anne Bancroft and Marcia Mason. This is something. Anyway.
Oh, God, what a dumb thing to say, right? I mean, you say it, you play well, and then right away I have to say you play well. Oh, God, Annie. Well. Oh, well. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la.
Ah, the winner is Jane Fonda.
Coming home, Jane Fonda won her second Oscar.
Stop, and listen to me. What is the matter with you? Why do you have
have to be such a bastard?
To come and take me home! And I ain't gonna budge till he gets here!
Sally Field won her first Academy Award for the title performance in Norma Rae. When the picture based on the life of Loretta Lynn brought the Oscar to Sissy Spacek, the coal miner's daughter was there to applaud.
I started to work on Coal Miner's Daughter with a bunch of strangers, and I finished working on Coal Miner's Daughter with a bunch of friends.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
Katharine Hepburn, Oscar's most honored leading lady, won her fourth Academy Award for On Golden Pond.
Boat, you poop. Come in closer.
I don't think that there's anyone here or watching who doesn't appreciate the amount of love and gratitude represented by this Oscar selection tonight. And we all send our love to Katharine.
And the winner is marvelous Meryl Streep.
If you look closely, you'll see that Meryl Streep was expecting more than an Oscar, which may be why she dropped her acceptance speech.
I'll get that.
That's my speech.
So it's your speech there? Okay. Short speech. It is.
I have a lot of people to thank. And I'm going to be one of those people that tries to mention a lot of names, because I know just 2 seconds ago my mother and father went completely berserk. And I'd like to give some other mothers and fathers that opportunity.
1983's Best Actress, Shirley MacLaine, was honored for her work in Terms of Endearment.
I'm going to cry because this show has been as long as my career. I have wondered for 26 years what this would feel like. Thank you so much for terminating the suspense.
And the winner is Sally Field in Places in the Heart.
This was the second Academy Award for Sally Field.
Thank you to you. I haven't had an orthodox career, and I've wanted more than anything to have your respect. The first time I didn't feel it, but this time I feel it, and I can't deny the fact that you like me right now. You like me.
I consider this woman the greatest actress in the English language. The winner is Geraldine Page in A Trip to Bali.
F. Murray Abraham added his own tribute to Geraldine Page when the lady won her Oscar. And then she couldn't find her shoes.
And the winner is Marlee Matlin.
Marlee Matlin became only the fourth leading actress in history to receive the Oscar for a debut performance.
Winner is Cher in Moonstruck.
In Oscar's 60th year, Moonstruck brought the award to Cher, and glory to her dressmaker.
Now I want to really say something. I would like to thank the women that I was nominated along with, because I feel really, really good, because they were so great. And I also would like to thank Mary Louise Streep, who I feel so unbelievable that I did my first movie with her, and now I was nominated with her, and I feel really thankful. And I don't think that this means that I am somebody, but I guess I'm on my way. Thank you.
we watch Jodie Foster grow up on the Academy Award show. As a teenager in The Memorable Taxi Driver, she was nominated for the Best Supporting Actress. And then, when Jodie was named Best Actress for The Accused, well, if Oscar had buttons, they'd have burst with pride. After a brilliant career on the stage and in films, Jessica Tandy got an affectionate ovation for her winning work in Driving Miss Daisy.
Lord knows you ain't no fool.
Slow down. Miriam and Beulah and them, I could see what they were thinking when we came out of services.
What's that?
But I was trying to pretend I was rich.
Jessica became the oldest actress to win the award.
I'm on cloud 9.
This isn't what happened last week. Have you all got amnesia? They just cheated us. This isn't fair. He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car.
Kathy Bates' performance in Misery was chilling, but her acceptance was anything but.
My mom at home and my dad, who I hope is watching somewhere, I would like to say thank you. Thank you very much.
People watch the Academy Awards for 3 basic reasons: to hear who won, what they say about it when they do win, and to see what they're wearing, whether they win or not. Checking out the last 2 decades, it's interesting to see how dresses, hairstyles, and makeup have changed.
Martin, how did this happen?
Carrie, I'm sorry.
I guess you didn't think it was possible for anyone to overdress for this affair.
I have it on good authority that Cher will be, in fact, dressed. She apparently has decided against the simple but elegant wardrobe of just the dress shields and odor eaters and is going for the full body covering.
Thank you. As you can see, I did receive my Academy booklet on how to dress like a serious actress.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of our next presenters is Dolly Parton, and I've just seen Dolly's gown, and it may be too intense for pre-teenagers, so parental guidance is advised. They make a lovely pair, don't they?
I took you to the store. You saw me buy the dress. You knew I was going to wear it to the Academy Awards. You knew this was a special occasion for me. You knew I wanted to look particularly distinctive.
Carrie, you have hundreds of dresses. I have 4.
Academy Award nights are not all fun and games. Because we attract such a vast international audience, it's inevitable that we also attract a variety of opinions. And not all of them are about motion pictures. There were a few memorable moments that really shook us up.
It's reassuring for me to look out at all of you and see how pretty and How lovely you look tonight. And so many gifted people are still making pictures like you do with your clothes on. And contrary to what Dustin Hoffman thinks, it is not an obscene evening. It is not garish, and it is not embarrassing.
I'm up here with mixed feelings. I've been critical of the Academy, and for reason. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to be able to work. I refuse to believe that I beat Jack Lemmon, that I beat Al Pacino, that I beat Peter Sellers. I refuse to believe that Robert Duvall lost. We are a part of an artistic family. There are 60,000 actors in this Academy, in the Screen Actors Guild, and probably 100,000 in Equity. And most actors don't work, and a few of us are so lucky to have a chance to work with writing and to work with directing. Because when you're a broke actor, you can't write, you can't paint. You have to practice accents while you're driving a taxi cab. And to that artistic family that strives for excellence, none of you have ever lost, and I am proud to share this with you, and I thank you.
Jane Fonda made headlines around the world with her stand on America's posture toward Vietnam. When her name was announced in 1971, the audience held its breath to hear what she'd have to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much, members of the Academy, and thank all of you who applauded. There's a great deal to say, and I'm not going to say it tonight. I would just like to really thank you very much.
I would like to say for the record that I am in favor of using more American Indians and other minorities in motion pictures. I am against polluting the oceans of the world. I am for every nationality having its own homeland. I'm against whacking baby seals on the head, and I'm for saving the whales. And now...
At first, when they came to me and they said they wanted me to present the award for Best Picture, my management came and they told me that the Academy had picked me, and my first reaction was to say, no, I ain't going. And I said, my manager said, but why? I have a white manager, so I tossed. But why? And I said, I'm not going because they haven't recognized black people in the motion picture industry. What are you talking about? Black people won Oscars. I said, well, black actors and actresses that have won Oscars throughout 60 years was like, I think Hattie McDaniels won the first one, then Sidney Poitier won one, and Lou Gossett won one. And I'll probably never win an Oscar for saying this, but hey, what the hey, I gotta say it. Actually, I might not be in any trouble because the way it's been going is about every 20 years we get one, so we ain't due for about 2004, so by that time it's all blown over. I said I wasn't going, and my manager said, you just have to go, you can't snub the Academy. So I came down here to give the award. I said, but I just feel that we have to be recognized as a people. I just want you to know, I'm gonna give this award, but black people will not ride the caboose of society, and we will not bring up the rear anymore, and I want you to recognize us. He said, well, fine, it's done. I said, now, when do I have to be there? He said, well, you don't have to get there till about 9 or 10 because it's the last award of the evening. So, I'm here now.
Redgrave's speech stunned the audience. A short time later, screenwriter Paddy Chayefsky departed from Oscar's prepared script to make a comment of his own.
Before I get on to the writing awards, there's a little matter I'd like to tidy up. At least if I expect to live with myself tomorrow morning. I would like to say, personal opinion of course, that I'm sick and tired of people exploiting the occasion of the Academy Awards for the propagation of their own personal political propaganda. I would like to suggest to Miss Redgrave that her winning an Academy Award is not a pivotal moment in history, does not require a proclamation, and a simple thank you would have sufficed.
Sooner or later you're gonna be mine. Sooner or my man. Sooner or later you're gonna decide. Sooner or later there's nowhere to hide. Baby, it's time, so I waste it in chatter. Let's settle the matter. Baby, you're mine on a platter. I always get my man. But if you insist, babe, the challenge delights me. The more you resist, babe, the more it excites me. And no one of kiss, babe, ever fights me again, again, again. If you're on my list, it's just a question of when I get a yes, then baby, amen. I'm counting to 10, and then a girl can get awfully awful in the spotlight. I'm gonna love you like nothing you've known. I'm gonna love you and you all alone. Sooner is better than later, but lover, I'll hover, I'll play. This time I'm not only getting, I'm holding my man. This time I'm not only getting, I'm hugging and squeezing and petting and talk to me, General Schwarzkopf. Tell me all about it. Ooh. This time I'm not only getting, I'm holding my man.
It's a broadcasting miracle that the Oscar telecast run as smoothly as they do. But there are those hair-raising, unforeseen moments that only a live television show can provide. For example, now here's what happened in 1972 when the Academy pulled Clint Eastwood out of the audience to fill in for presenter Charlton Heston. Mr. Heston, you see, was late, busy changing a flat tire somewhere on the Santa Monica freeway.
It was supposed to be Charlton Heston's part of the show, but somehow he hasn't shown up. So who did they pick? They picked the guy who hasn't said but 3 lines in 12 movies to substitute for him. I don't... So... if you don't mind, yeah, okay. If you don't mind, I'll just keep this book next to me. So Heston is supposed to say something about something biblical here, referring to him playing Moses. And he says, when I brought the tablets down from the mountain, Cecil B. DeMille research staff assured me that there would be only 10 commandments. CB's people were wrong. There are 11 commandments. The 11th commandment comes from the Federal Communications System, so spoke the commission. Thou shalt have full disclosure. Come on, flip the card, man. This isn't my bag, I'll tell you.
When I brought those tablets down from the mountain, CB did nose.
The editor is the loving, ruthless mother of the film. The editor gives it its breath and its rhythm. I need one now.
Now, what does a film editor do? Well, a film editor takes anywhere from 100,000 to 1,000,000 feet of film and whittles it down to a motion picture. Or as I prefer to think of it, he takes 1,000 or 100 feet of, 100,000 feet of film and turns it into 10,000 feet of grace. I don't know about this stuff.
Nominations for Best Original Dramatic Score are John Williams for Cinderella Liberty,
George Delarue for The Day of the Dolphin,
Jerry Goldsmith for Papillon,
John Cameron for A Touch of Class.
and Marvin Hamschmidt for The Way We Were.
Who?
Hamschmidt? Hamlish. Sorry about that, Marvin.
We don't have an envelope. We'll never know who the winner is.
Here is Jean Hersholt. I think here is Jean Hersholt. We've lost the film. Should we skip the film? Yes. Never mind.
And now, to divulge the contents of this year's most important envelope is a very important contributor to world entertainment, and someone, quite likely, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen. But isn't it fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings.
It's a pretty hard act to follow. The 5 nominated for Best Picture of the Year are Francis Ford Coppola, producer. I'm nervous. That really upset me.
Guess where I was. Now.
Thank you. This is an amazing thing to walk out and see all of these great stars. This is almost like going to a Laker game. Is it good? I have been asked to present a package of clips about tap dancing in the movies. Now, this is something I am a fan of, but I know very little about. Growing up in New York, I was a big fan of movie musicals, never quite understood them. No, I mean, really, West Side Story, the first musical I saw. I grew up in New York. I never saw tough guys walk down the street like that. Ref, meet you at the gym at 9. Don't wear that. I never saw that. They asked me to look at this clip about tap dancing. And I looked at it, and these are tremendous artists. But as I was looking at it, I thought that I could do that easily. And I came up with a way that you can do this too. Now, please don't try this at home. I am a professional. Here's how. You can learn how to tap at home. All you need is a hand mic, a little eucalyptus cough drop, and watch a you can tap of like any of these great artists you're about to see, all right?
weeks before the Academy telecast of 1970, several well-known actors began objecting about the Oscar competition. Acting, as you heard Dustin Hoffman say earlier, was an art form, something that should promote camaraderie, not divide it. One of the most outspoken actors was George C. Scott, nominated for his superb work in Patton. Scott announced that he'd be home Oscar night, watching a hockey game. Well, that's all the press needed. They picked it up and it became the talk of the town.
The nominees for the best performance by an actor are George C. Scott in Patton, James Earl Jones, The Great White Hope, Melvin Douglas in I Never Sang for My Father, Ryan O'Neal in Love Story, Jack Nicholson in 5 Easy Pieces. The envelope, please. Can't wait. Oh my God. The winner is George C. Scott.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser.
And the winner is Mr. Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman brought a new type of hard-boiled policeman to the screen in The French Connection.
Hold it!
The winner is Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
Marlon Brando won for his gripping performance.
A month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
It's too late. They start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Jack Lemmon for Save the
This was Jack Lemmon's second Oscar. His first was for supporting actor.
In recent years especially, there has been a great deal of criticism about this award. And probably a great deal of that criticism is very justified. I would just like to say that whether it's justified or not, I think it is one hell of an honor, and I am thrilled. And I thank you all very, very much.
When Art Carney celebrated his win for Harry and Tonto, he thanked his wife and his agent,
who said 2 words to me: do it. You are old.
Winning for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jack Nicholson also remembered his agent.
Last but not least, my agent, who about 10 years ago advised me that I had no business being an actor. Thank you.
Liv Ullmann read the name of the first and only performer ever to receive a posthumous Oscar.
Peter Finch in Network.
Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad.
Sylvester Stallone announced the winner.
Richard Dreyfuss!
I play the guitar in the middle of the night whenever I cannot sleep, and I meditate every morning, complete with chanting and burning incense, so if you've got to walk around, I'd appreciate a little tiptoeing. Also, I sleep in the nude. A butto.
What are you doing here, Bender? Why aren't you out on the golf course teeing up balls?
John Voight won Oscar's vote for his performance as one of the forgotten vets of the Vietnam War.
That's all.
Sure, it gives you something to talk about over martinis, how you're helping out the poor cripples.
I don't think that I deserve that, Luke, at all.
Maybe you're just getting ready for your husband who'll come back in a body bag.
Dustin Hoffman played a harried husband trying to raise a son alone in Kramer versus Kramer.
All right, I'm warning you. You take one bite out of that, you're in big trouble. Don't you dare. Don't you dare do that. Did you hear me? Hey, stop, hold it right there. You put that ice cream in your mouth, and you are in very, very, very big trouble. Don't you dare go anywhere beyond that. Put it down right now. I am not going to say it again. I am not going to say it again. I am not.
The winner is Robert De Niro, The Raging Bull.
When Robert De Niro scored as the Raging Bull, the real Jake LaMotta was an Oscars audience.
I want to thank my mother and father for having me, and my grandmother and grandfather for having them.
You know what this is? University of Pennsylvania diving finals 1921, second place.
Goodbye, woman. Bye, Billy. Well, goodbye, Norman. Dad.
Henry Fonda's distinguished career ended with On Golden Pond. Jane Fonda accepted for her ailing father.
I know that he's watching right now, and I know that he's very, very honored and very happy and surprised. And I'll bet when he heard it just now, I bet he said, "Hey, ain't I lucky?" As though luck had anything to do with it.
Ben Kingsley's was one of the 8 Oscars won by the epic Gandhi.
This is an Oscar for vision, for courage, and for acting, and for peace. Thank you.
And the winner is...
Ha-ha! Oh, yeah, Robert Duvall.
After 2 previous nominations, Robert Duvall walked home with Oscar for his singing cowboy in Tender Mercies.
The winner is F. Murray Abraham.
F. Murray Abraham's portrayal of the jealous Salieri in Amadeus contrasted sharply with his generosity at Oscar's podium.
There's only one thing that's missing for me tonight, and that is to have Tom Hulse standing by my side.
We're up to Best Actor, so let's see which one you like, you really, really like.
And yes, Oscar really liked William Hurt in Kiss of the Spider Woman. On his way to the stage, he embraced his director.
I am very proud to be an actor. Thank you very much.
The winner is Paul Newman.
Paul Newman's 7th acting nomination brought him his first Best Actor Oscar.
Hey, I'm back.
Michael Douglas, who played a heartless, calculating Wall Street investor, showed his true colors upon receiving the Oscar.
I'd like to dedicate this award to William Darrad, Diana Douglas Darrad, Ann Douglas, and Kirk Douglas, my parents and step-parents who have been extremely supportive and loving to me over the years, and in particular to my father, who I don't think ever missed one of my college productions, for his continued support and for helping a son step out of the shadow. I'll be eternally grateful to you, Dad, for that. Thank you.
All airlines have crashed at one time or another. That doesn't mean that they are not safe.
Qantas.
Qantas?
Qantas never crashed.
Dustin Hoffman's portrayal of an autistic savant in Rain Man impressed audiences and peers alike.
I'm very honored, and I thank the Academy for your support. And I also thank Tom Hanks and Max von Sydow and James Olmos and my good friend Gene Hackman for their wonderful work, even if they didn't vote for me. I didn't vote for you guys either.
Daniel Day-Lewis came all the way from Ireland to receive the respect of his colleagues for his performance as Christy Brown in My Left Foot.
You've just provided me with the makings of one hell of a weekend in Dublin.
And the Oscar goes to Jeremy Irons.
See if you can find something constitutional.
You do have one thing in your favor. Everybody hates you.
Well, that's a start.
But Jeremy Irons was loved on Oscar night.
By the way, I loved your speech last year when you got this award.
I loved yours too, Michael.
Did you? I didn't make one, Sean. I wasn't here. I was working. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to make that speech now. I would like to thank the Academy, of course. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank Woody Allen, my beautiful wife, Shakira, my lovely daughter, Natasha, and I'd like to spell Swifty Lazara.
I'm not on this list. I don't understand.
What's your name?
My name is Bond.
Bond? He's Bond?
Oh.
You know he looks like Roger Moore with a beard.
And he looks like Sean Connery with a moustache.
He is Sean Connery with a moustache.
You want to know what I was doing 30 years ago?
No, Roger, what were you doing?
I was still trying to grow this beard.
Were you? Boom, boom.
Shall we get on with it?
Only
Let me tell you a secret. There are a lot of nervous people at the Academy Awards. The singers and dancers are nervous because they've got an audience of 1 billion or so people watching. The nominees are nervous because they're worried about winning or not winning. The only people who seem to be having a good time are the presenters.
Don't you hate it when presenters come out here and use this moment for their own personal aggrandizement? Of course you do. This is the Oscars. We have to be dignified as humanly possible. That is why I've decided to rise to the occasion and give the nominees for the Best Original Song all the respect I feel they deserve. All right, from the film Arthur's theme, also known as the best that you can do, also known as that song about the moon and New York City, also known as Four on a Song, by Burt Bacharach, Carol Bayer Sager, Christopher Cross, and Peter Allen. A nice piece of music. Endless Love from the Endless movie, Endless Love. How you like it so far, kids? For Your Eyes Only, from the film For Your Eyes Only, and they weren't kidding, I couldn't watch a single frame.
Art direction. What is it? Who does it? Why? And how much? And where are they? And here we are. Art direction. I don't know. Hi, I'm Steve Martin. They asked me to say that. I told them I didn't have to. They said, Steve, we're in China tonight. I said, they know me in China. Billions of them. Anyway, I can't walk down the street in China. Steve, how's it going? Hey, what are you doing here?
Candace and I are really delighted and very honored to be presenting the award for the Best Foreign Film.
So honored that we thought it would be a great idea to complete our remarks in a foreign language. You go first, Jackie.
Le programme des Oscars télévisés est cette année vu par plus d'1 billion de personnes dans le monde entier. Et plus de 20 pays vont le voir en direct. Éventuellement, le programme sera traduit dans au moins 30 langues.
Avec toute cette technologie, vous auriez pensé qu'ils ont trouvé le moyen de sortir nos voitures du parking en moins de 2 heures. Ne m'attends pas, lui. Il y a un vieux reste de poulet dans le frigo. Et n'oublie pas de sortir le chien. But back to business. Let's present the award.
We're here to present the awards tonight to the gentleman who makes sure that the audience hears every sigh, each whisper, even every moan. The Sound Awards.
Well, you've certainly piqued me, my interest. I feel very honored giving this award. I've always enjoyed a very good relationship with the sound man. Unfortunately, they sometimes run out of tape before I finish my line.
There are all kinds of directors. There are spectator directors, dictator directors, directors that are kind and tolerant. They're understanding. There are also directors that are mean and petty and contemptible.
Some directors are short. And some are tall. Some are old and some are young. There are American directors, French, Czechoslovakian, and English directors, etc. There are directors who know everything about human behavior and nothing about the camera. There are directors who know camera angles, camera lenses, camera sprockets, and depth of focus, but who are totally ignorant of the human condition.
We have all of these directors with us tonight. The category we are presenting is live-action short film.
It means films feature the live actors and are under 30 minutes in length.
I was under the impression that
A short film was a film made by Martin Short.
Oh, Debbie. No. A film made by Martin Short is called a classic. No. These are short films in terms of overall length of film. You know, short meaning not long.
I see.
Yeah.
And then how would you define live action?
Oh, well, that would be a film featuring something happening on the screen that moves, like, you know, a fight or a chase, you see?
Oh, well, a chase film is a film that I appear in. Could I qualify for this award?
What is your IQ anyway, Chevy? Not by yourself. No way. But I suppose if we made a film together, it could be called a short chase film, and we could both qualify for an Oscar, you see.
Now, honey, I was just thinking back there that we fit in completely to the theme of the show. Because we're co-stars, we're compadres, we're companions, and we're a couple.
Yeah, there's only one thing we're not.
What?
Married.
Is that a proposal?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I guess now's as good a time as any to answer that. Oh, they want us to speed things up. Listen, we'll talk about it later tonight, okay? The role of a director needs no explanation. It's because I'm a pig, isn't it? It's because I'm a pig.
What is?
They know. You know, don't you?
Now.
It's because I'm a pig.
Now.
I did not get the nomination for Best Actress.
Now, come on, let's...
Yes.
Now,
yes.
Miss Piggy...
I don't care. I am too big a star to worry about it.
Let's be fair. Be fair now.
Vous talking moi of fair? Jonathan,
Yes.
you saw my performance in the Muppet movie?
Yes.
Well, can you stand there in your red tuxedo and honestly say that I am not Oscar material?
Oscar Mayer, maybe.
Boston makes me feel good.
The movie musical is an art form that was born in America. We taught the world to sing and dance. Over the years, Oscar has acknowledged that gift.
Go on! Sketch! Sketch! I ain't afraid of no ghost! See what I tell you?
Berkeley came to Hollywood and revolutionized the dancing style.
Cause I only have eyes for you.
I don't know if we're in a garden or on a crowded avenue.
A pretty girl is like a melody that haunts you night and day, just like the strain of a haunting refrain.
We got to feel it, you got to carry it, another sea. The
mute play the flute, the car play the hop, the place play the bass, and they sound and sharp. The bass plays the brass, the chop plays the cup, and the fluke is the Duke of Soul. The ray he can play the lings on the string, the trout rocking out the flatfish she sings, the trout and the sprat, they know where it's at, and oh how the blowfish blow. Ha 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 ha. Ah ha ha ha. Woo.
Oscar's acceptance speeches come in all shapes and sizes. Now, if you could copyright the words, "Thank you," I believe you could earn a darn good living from the Academy Awards alone.
Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. It may sound double Dutch, but my delight is such. I feel as if a losing war's been won for me. And if I had a flag, I'd hang my flag out to add a sort of final victory touch. But since I left my flag at home, I'd simply like to say thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you very much. I was so excited last year, I forgot to thank a few people. This year, I'm so nervous, I've forgotten the names of the people I forgot to thank last year. So onward.
I want to thank Troy, New York, and my children, my family, my friends, and everybody I ever met in my entire life.
I'm not going to thank everybody I've ever met in my entire life. Although, with the way my mind has been going lately, probably everybody I've ever met in my entire life and any other life I might have had something to do with this.
I want to thank everybody who makes movies. I come from New York. As a little kid, I lived in the projects. And you're the people I watched. You're the people made me want to be an actor. I'm so proud to be here. I'm proud to be an actor. And I'm going to keep on acting. And thank you so much.
Gracias, gracias mil. Gracias, gracias mil. Esto es lo mejor que me ha podido suceder. Quizá no sea sutil, mas mi alegría es tal que siento cual si el enemigo echó a correr.
3 years ago, when I was here for King Kong, I don't know English, and they say thank you. Now I learn very well English, and they say thank you very much.
For those of you at home, I forgot to mention there's an English simulcast on 96.4.
The producer says that we're not allowed to
we shouldn't really thank our families. We're supposed to wait until we go backstage and use the payphone, but he doesn't know my family.
To my mom, who taught me to believe in God, an uncompromising principle, and to my dad, who taught me to believe in myself, and to my best friend, my wife, who taught me to live by what they taught me.
I want to thank my son, Francis Ford Coppola, for being up here, because without him, I wouldn't be here. However, if I wasn't here, he wouldn't be here either, right? Thank you so much. And thanks for giving my dad an Oscar. Thank you.
This means a lot to me, since it comes from a role in which I was directed by my father. And I know it means a lot to him.
My father so wanted to be here tonight. Ironically, a few weeks ago, he joined the family of the disabled, and I understand that at the hospital where he's at tonight, that a lot of people that I've met recently are gathered with him with tuxedos and champagne cups and formals, and they're all watching this show right now on a big TV that they rented. So to the and to my father and to his new friends, here's looking at you. Thank you.
I just want to say that it's very easy for people to trivialize what we do sometimes, and they do it in ways of saying, well, if it's such a big deal, how come nobody remembers who last year won the Oscar? And I've got a real flash for you. I will never forget what happened here tonight. My family will never forget what happened here. My Native American brothers and sisters across the country, especially the Dakota Sioux, will never forget. People I went to school with will never forget.
Molto grazie, molto grazie. Che graziosa cosa qualcuno ha fatto mai per me. Sembrei un commissario, mi gioia e quale. Io credo la guerra ho perso, ora vinto per me.
I'd like to thank everybody who ever punched or kissed me in my life. And everybody who I ever punched or kissed.
And most of all, an extraordinary man, Jack D'Amboise.
I don't know, I think they should have let each of the kids talk.
Chaudelot de la Clos, who's having about as good a year as it's possible to have if you're a dead writer.
And also to George Friedrich Handel, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Antonio Vivaldi, etc.
First of all, I want to thank the man above.
God, Buddha.
And I want to thank myself because I think I earned it.
If you would all see me later, I would love to suck face with you all. Thank you.
God bless you. We love you all. And we're available from September.
As George C. Scott didn't get around to saying last year, thank you. Thank you very much. I love you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Betsy Strick will accept the award for producer Joseph Strick.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. It may sound double Dutch, but my delight is such. I feel as if the losing won't be won for me. And if I had a flag, I'd hang my flag out to add a sort of final victory touch. But since I left my flag at home, I simply like to say gracias, gracias mil.
Mille fois merci.
Molto grazie. Thank you very, very much.
fat private dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks. You're damn right. Who is the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man? Can you dig it?
Each of our shows, and for that matter, every movie year, eventually takes on the flavor of the film that earned the Best Picture award. The Academy looks over the year's whole crop of pictures and says, this one. This is the best work we've done this year. So join me for the next few minutes on a glorious trip through 21 years of movie magic. Best Pictures, one and all. Long after the glitz and the glamour of Academy Awards fade, there is quite often one overriding memory that stays with Oscar fans everywhere. Over the years, we've seen the most famous faces of the century share their feelings with the world. And it has made for some very moving moments.
The winner is Louise Fletcher.
We begin with Louise Fletcher accepting her Best Actress Award for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Well, it looks like you all hated me so much that you've given me this award for it, and I'm loving every minute of it. And all I can say is I've loved being hated by you. And if you'll excuse me, for my mother and my father, I want to say thank you for teaching me to have a dream. You are seeing my dream come true. Thank you.
By thanking her deaf parents, Louise Fletcher opened the eyes and ears of America to the hearing impaired. 2 years later, Debbie Boone sang her Academy Award-winning hit. And as she sang, young children signed the hopeful lyrics to thousands of deaf viewers.
Finally, I'm turning for home. Finally, a chance to say, hey, I love you. Never again to be all alone.
Almost a decade later, deaf actress Marlee Matlin won the Best Actress Award for Children of a Lesser God. The next year, after training with a voice coach, she spoke.
Robin Williams, good morning, Vietnam.
Before Barbara and I present this next award, I'd like to say something. 39 years ago this month, we were working in a film together called Golden Boy. And it wasn't going well because I was going to be replaced. But due to this lovely human being and her interest in understanding and her professional integrity and her encouragement and above all her generosity, I'm here tonight.
Oh, yeah. Don't let this feeling end. It's everything I am, everything I want to be.
A year after William Holden's death, Barbara Stanwyck returned to receive an Oscar for her body of work.
Finding out what's true since I found you.
A few years ago, I stood on the stage with William Holden as a presenter. I loved him very much, and I miss him. He always wished that I would get an Oscar. And so tonight, my golden boy, you got your wish.
Memories. I have a lot of memories, as we all do. When I was 19 years old, I was the #1 star of the world for 2 years. When I was 40, nobody wanted me. I couldn't get a job. And then a professor from the University of Tennessee got a show together with Terry Allen Kramer and Harry Rigby called Sugar Babies. And it resurrected my career. Last year, God smiled upon me and I was given the Emmy for Bill, and I won the Peabody Award and the Golden Globe, and tonight you honor me beyond anything that a man should be given. You honor me with the greatest and the highest tribute we can receive in our business. My family all love you, and they're all tingling inside because of this moment for me. I'd love to even kiss Louis B. Mayer. But the one that's responsible outside of God is my wife, Jan, who kept saying to me for the last 7 years, I know you can do it, get up off the canvas. You can do it. I want to thank you, one and all, for remembering me. Thank you for this glorious moment. God bless and good night.
Accepting a special Academy tribute, Sophia Loren remembered how frightened she was winning her first Academy Award 30 years earlier.
Tonight, I'm still scared, but I'm not alone. And I will share this eventful evening with the three men in my life. My husband, Carlo Ponti, without whom I wouldn't be the person I am today, and my two sons, Carlo Jr. and Eduardo. That taught me to conjugate the verb to love.
Ladies and gentlemen, last year at the 50th anniversary presentation of the Academy Awards, an American institution stood on this stage and said some very heartfelt words about another American institution. Tonight, we'd like to relive that moment with you.
Before we get to the big one, there's a word to one of Hollywood's biggest. He's in Boston right now, and we want you to know, Duke, we miss you tonight. We expect to see you amble out here in person next year because nobody else can walk in John Wayne's boots.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Wayne.
Like the Western hero he so often portrayed, next year the Duke did return, despite a losing battle with cancer. His achievement was unprecedented. Over 250 films in a 40-year career. John Wayne had become internationally famous, a household word, an American myth. The Academy had nominated him for Best Actor in Sands of Iwo Jima and awarded the Oscar for True Grit in 1969. The standing ovation was from all of us. Whoever cheered an American hero or felt the eternal promise of the Old West.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's just about the only medicine a fella'd ever really need. Believe me when I tell you that I'm mighty pleased that I can amble down here tonight. Well, Oscar and I have something in common. Oscar first came to the Hollywood scene in 1928. So did I. We're both a little weather-beaten, but we're still here and plan to be around for a whole lot longer.
Let this feeling end.
2 months later, the world mourned John Wayne's passing. When Jimmy Stewart accepted his honorary Oscar, he took his time to graciously thank his friends and co-workers, and then, speaking for all grateful actors, he saved his most touching thanks for last.
And finally, the audience. All you wonderful folks out there. Thank you for being so kind to me over the years. You've given me a wonderful life. God bless you.
Let this feeling end, it might not come again. And I want to remember how it feels to touch you. How I feel so much since I found you. Looking through with love.
Those who were there call it the single most emotional moment in modern Academy Awards history. One of the authentic giants of our art was returning to Los Angeles after a self-imposed 20-year exile. Now, at the ceremony's honoring achievements for 1971, he had accepted the Academy's request that he return to the city where he'd created so many of the enduring masterpieces of movie history. A new generation wanted to honor the little tramp.
Oh, thank you so much. This is an emotional moment for me. And words seem so futile, so feeble. I can only say that thank you for the honor of inviting me here. And, oh, you're wonderful, sweet people. Thank you.
What the audience experienced was the essence of the Academy Awards. The simple act of artists expressing their heartfelt respect for the work of fellow artists. The Oscar is just a physical symbol of that respect. The thing itself we can't see, but sometimes we can feel it. We can feel it rising in waves from the orchestra, rolling down from the balconies right onto that stage. And if the feeling is strong enough, sometimes it even spills out over the airwaves. Those moments are Oscar's greatest moments.
Oscar, everybody loves you, Oscar. Everybody wants you, Oscar. You're the light of our eyes. Big boy, don't you love it? You're the plum performer's covet. You're the summit, consummate prize. Your glamour glows on, though you haven't any clothes on. Everybody wants to get you, grab you, hug you, hold you tight, and be the one to say, at last I got my way. And look who's going home with Oscar tonight. Grab you, hug you, hold you tight, and be the one to say, at last I got my way. And look who's holding hands with Oscar, trucking around with Oscar, going home with Oscar. That's the one.